TOMz.
The 16th of June 2016 marks the 40th year since the iconic June 16 student march eyayenzakala back in Soweto in 1976, which means that 2016 is the year of the youth, where we not only commemorate our youth leaders of the past, but we also acknowledge our youth leaders esinawo namhlanje. So to start it all off, we thought, why don't we learn about how the youth of the past fought for our future, which is now our present. Bongi, Sia, let's get into it.
Hey, hello. Hi. Hello.
Wena-ke lapha ekhaya usukhethe kahle by simply tuning into SABC Mzansi for sure to watch the ultimate entertainment show yalana eMzansi. Khuluma ngani meyakhuluma nge-teenagers on a mission.
Njalo kanye lo kaloku apha TOMz nqa phambili ku-edutainment kwaye ke uyisiselwa ngabasasazi bakho kaloku abamqaba kweqawu levinika. Ndina ngabanga kaloku ngangathethi ngam ubongisipho ngingahambi ndedwa.
Mina-ke ngangibiza uSiyayi. Namhlanje-ke we are all about umzabalazo right here on TOMz.
Njalo kanye, and that is all because kaloku namhlanje sibhiyozela the youth day. So ke wena siyahosixaba apha ku-TOMz sabaphakela ntoni namhlanje?
Well, namhlanje-ke they can expect to find out ukuthi kahle ama-youth leaders or ama-youth heroes a-1976 baoba. Futhi sofunda kabanzi about how and why the June 16, 1976 Soweto March happened. Learn about the struggles of young people today and how they actually tackle them.
Singalibali ukuba sineendwendwe zethu ezizawusimpayirisha apha enkqubeni namhlanje. Kwaye ke yazi into masingabe sithetha wena apha ekhaya kasibonele.
Now ke uma ukulindele apha ku TOMz. Yazi kuba ngawaphi amanye amaqhawe osuku lolutsha. Funda ukuba iJune 16 yenze kanjani kwaye kutheni. Learn about how photography plays an important role in capturing significant moments in history. Check out some awesome apps for your mobile. Fumana amazwi enkuthazo kwindwendwe zethu ezilapha enkqubeni namhlanje.
Usuku lolutsha ke lusuku olukhulu kakhulu apha ekhaya eMzansi.
Usuku where we look back at the sacrifices made by the youth of about 40 years ago.
Injalo kanye kodwa mna into endifuna uyazi ke ukuba ulutsha lwanamhlanje ngo-2015 niyayazi nangale mini.
Well, there's only one way to find out. There you go.
Youth Day is a day that the youth celebrate to think about the goodness and the good things that are in them.
I think of apartheid in the 1970s and how a lot of people derive inspiration from such tragic events that happened back then.
In order to appreciate the youth exactly, so that we can empower them to develop the country.
We celebrate Youth Day so that we can remember those people that fought for liberation of different races, so that we could all be joined together.
So that we can make people aware how important the youth are because they are the future of our country.
I just know that there's some sort of reflection that's inside the camera.
I don't know much about that, but I do know that there's digital photography and analog photography.
First, it's easier to take the pictures, and it's much faster and easier to process the pictures.
I think it has. The fact that they're using it and the fact that you see many of them using the same camera and they're changing to that, then I think they're benefiting from it. And it looks like most of them want to use them. And I'm pretty sure the one they're using right now is that same camera.
Xa ke kuthethwa about the 1976 student uprising, ikhona nje amagama, or rather khona amagama that must never be left out.
Amagama amaqhawe, some who are unsung or have been taken from their people before they can actually see the fruits of their sacrifices.
Injalo kanye kodwa kuxhomekeke kuthi thina abantu abalapha ngoku to know la maqhawe kwaye keep their legacies living strong. Enye yendlela ke ofuyenza is ukuthetha ngazo kwaye teaching other people about them.
So after we have schooled you on these, or who these heroes are rather, we encourage you ukuthi ukhulume ngawo every chance that you get.
Injalo kanye, make sure that their sacrifices are known and appreciated by abantu.
16 kweyesilimela eJabavu eSoweto. Chances are what comes to mind is the image of a young Mbuyisa Makubu carrying a bleeding Hector Pieterson who had just been shot by apartheid police. We have Masana Samuel Nzima to thank for the existence of this image. Unzima Gelona is the photographer who, despite the consequences, snapped up this image that lived up to a symbol of the pain caused by this day. Though at the time the photo cost him his career by forcing him to go into hiding. When Age was ganganani of the boy in dungarees carrying Hector, Mbuyisa Makubu's selfless act of carrying a dying Hector changed his life forever. Knowing that the authorities would be looking for him because of the photograph, Umakubu ran away from home, never to be seen by his loved ones again. To this day, akomdu yazi uba waphelela phi or whether he continues to live.
Wow, now our dada deserve all our gratitude. I mean, having to sacrifice the normal life, no sap as well as it me, just for you and I to have a better life than I could ever imagine.
Manje, how can I not be great when my people fought so hard for me to be here? Now, as a token of appreciation, Tinala at TOMz have decided to hit the streets of Jabavu, Soweto to salute these heroes with a hero who still lives namhlanje. Check it out.
SABC 1, for sure. This is Mzansi, the people's poet. We normally say a prophet is not honored in his own country or town. But political speaking will say, tell no lies and claim no easy victories. We were concerned about oppression, inequality. There was something was not right. I walked from Mdeni to Chavlan. I mean, you can check how many kilometers. Then I would question, because sometimes when I'm in town, I would see a vehicle written school bus. How come yet, man, I would walk all these years, something was not right. I grew up in a four-room house without a ceiling, no fridge, that kind of a life, being subtenants, yet other people's lives were rosy and cozy, swimming pools and stuff. You would question things. I mean, a language is part of a people's culture. Your right must not violate my right. Your culture must not violate my culture. If we were African or black, we're talking Zulu, Sotho, Xhosa. Now you want us to do everything in Afrikaans, and you want the medium of instruction that even during break, lunchtime, I mustn't speak my beautiful Zulu, my beautiful African language. I'm distinctly African. There was a stage when people realized what it's like. It's like we have surrendered. The leadership is in exile. The leadership is in prison, and we are being battered, we were under siege. There's an army here. It's guns. It's a violent language, and these guys were intolerable. I mean, there's no kind of an attitude. Yes, no culture came from the 60s to 76. They came, but remember. The 76 scenario, it's not rubber bullets. School uniform, no stones, no weapons, no traditional weapons. Students, we were marching. Here is a scenario in a country like South Africa. The entire police force will use live ammunition against students. What was the threat? The laws of a gun. You shoot when your life is in danger, when you are threatened. The Sharpeville scenario, I thought, should have been a lesson that most people who were killed in Sharpeville were actually shot at the back because we were running away from police fire. It got repeated again in 1976. I have memories that cannot go away because my fellow students were shot. No wonder why the World Council of Churches, United Nations, everybody said it was crime against humanity. It was indeed a crime. It's a country that actually committed a massacre after a massacre. These guys were merciless. People died in cold blood. People forget and forget easily. They must remember, people out there, people died for you, so that today you eat the fruits of the liberation of those when they were about to be executed and hanged, like Solomon Matlang said their blood was going to nurture the tree of freedom. So remember, you young people, that the future belongs to you. You are actually citizens of the future. Nesizulu sithi inkunzi isematholeni. You are the future.
Kokisa sivile uba utata umbuli uthini namaske sihambe kubethunani siyothi tsixa nje sebona uba ulutsha lwanamhlanje lona lucinga ntoni ngolutsha la ngo-1976.
Hey Gigi, what's up? Welcome to TOMz.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Why do we celebrate Youth Day?
We celebrate Youth Day to commemorate people, black, colored, white, Indian, who came together to try and evoke a sense of change in South Africa. Youth Day is one of the most pivotal, in my opinion, one of the most imperative, pivotal events in South African history. I don't know if it's shifted in the last 30 or so years, but I think it should be a time really to sit down and commemorate the likes of your Steve Biko's, the Black Consciousness Movement, the ANC, everybody who came out, even people in the community, a United Democratic Front that came in to try and spark change in our communities. So I think that's why really we should be celebrating it. Ultimately, what we need more are workshops about why there is something called Youth Day. How does it impact on you as a South African living in post-apartheid? I feel like most of the youth, if it's not in a history class, they really don't know, and their parents are not sitting down and telling them these things. But listen, it's nice that you're going out and partying and doing whatever you're doing during Youth Day, but do you understand what that means for you? Some people don't even know who Hector Pieterson was. You know, I feel like some people don't know that. So I think for the youth, it's really nice. But at the end of the day, we need to know why Youth Day is there and what it means for us as a South African youth.
I think it's safe to say on behalf of ulutsha lapha eMzansi, siyabulela bomama nodata bethu for all your sacrifices.
And thina ke siyathembisa to take the baton and run with it and make you proud.
Kodwa manje okwangoku bethu nani masike sihambe siyokurhabula amanzi kaloku kodwa sibuye.
Xa sibuya ke evenkileni sibuyela ekuqaleni kundoqo waselokishini ukufumana ubunzima abantu abatsha abajongene nabo.
Dibana ke noNkosinathi Khumalo kwaye ke ufunde ukuba i-analog photography isebenza njani kanye kanye.
Kwaye ke sibonele ukuba abantu abatsha babuthola njani ubunzima babo.
TOMz. TOMz.
Siphinde sabuya ke bethani kwaye siyalamkela abantu abahle balapha eMzansi.
Nina ke lapha ekhaya ngiyathemba ukuthi sanqosi nofuqufuqu ufuneka abantu about Mzansi's youth heroes of yesterday and namhlanje and how history is captured through the lens.
Njalo kanye only right here on Teenagers on a Mission. TOMz with Nani Lena only on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure.
Manje ke we've established that a big part of Youth's Day legacy lies within a photograph taken by Mzansi.
Not only Mzansi but many other photographers as well who took very powerful images of izinto ezazenzeka ngalamini.
Kodwa ke lokho iyatshengisa ukuthi isithombe sinepower engakanani. The historians can write and the activists can speak, but all this can actually very easily fall on deaf ears.
Njalo kanye, but when it comes to a picture, it is very different because it does not take much for it to connect and speak to one without saying nelinye ilizwe, simply because a picture speaks 1,000 words.
Mina Mzansi, we actually take it for granted that we can simply pull out our phones and take a quick selfie, see it instantly and share it with all our friends without having to move from where we are.
Njalo kanye, and in a matter of seconds, lo photo leyo can travel the world and be seen by iinginginya zabantu. Kodwa ke mandulo, ngiyazibuza uba man, how did the likes of Mzansi, Alfred Khumalo and Peter Magubane go around capturing images ezathi zihamba ilizwe lonke?
Yazi mina ke Mzansi, I doubt that they actually tweeted and shared it like we could do it namhlanje.
Kodwa ke bethu nani, mina ukhona umhlobo wami, impero yami as strong ogqithe eyaziyo kwaye ngasibonisa.
Ngempela manje silinde nasambe nisobona.
Fresh, welcome to TOMz. What do you do in the Sigupi right now?
Okay, I'm a photographer.
Okay.
We're at the Market Photo Workshop. The school was founded by David Goldblatt, a world-renowned photographer. Photography plays a big role because we as photographers, we more than just photographers, we media players, you know.
Okay.
We're creating content, you know, that's helping other people see which is phila kanjani or bese endaweni enjani in a specific time, you know.
Okay, ngikosinathi ngitshele ke ngokubaluleka kweyithombe when it comes to awareness.
Ithombe is balulekile when it comes to awareness because even from 1976 and all of that time, ithombe played a very big role ngokuthi capture ukuthi bekenzakalani la South Africa. So ukuthi abantu abanye babone nabo and get awareness of the information that was coming out of South Africa nje. The most important picture I think in South Africa's history is the 1976 picture by Sam Nzima of Hector Pieterson and Lisa. It has so much emotion in it that sent information from an insider's perspective in South Africa to, you know, says abantu abangaphandle abaphesheya ukuthi bazi ukuthi kubenzakalani in South Africa ngaso isikhathi.
Right now I see you have like all this old equipment. Tell me more about it.
We in the dark room right now. We have enlargers that help you with you print isithombe sakho from your negative. First it starts with the film roll.
Okay.
Film roll idila nge-light sensitive material. So where the camera captures the light and then mawuqeda ukushuta ama 36 frames wakho uyayithatha leyo film leyo you go into the processing area. Processing area, you develop and you fix that light that's in the film. So there's a light box where ubheka ithombe zakho ukuthi isiphi ungafuna ukusithatha uzosiprinta la. And then uyasikhatha nje leso C1 uyasifaka la bese uyasprint. This is an enlarger. It enlarges your image. So it transfers your image from a negative into a big print like you would see here. This is a context sheet. So you would print this first to see what kind of image selections are now.
Which printer do you use, like a normal printer?
You use chemicals to print it. There's no machinery involved here. It's just light and chemicals. And light, this paper is light sensitive. So whichever light engifakayo la yaphumela izophuma exactly the way ngakhona. So isithombe se analog siphuma kanje.
Okay, cool. Look, Dala, you guys used analog, right?
Yeah.
And now it's digital.
Yes.
So tell me the different experiences working with the two right now.
Analog yakufundisa. Like if you want to be patient and ufuna ukwazi ukuthi shoota kanjani and being careful, you know, more thathi ithombe ungathathi nje carelessly like digital camera because you are spoiled for choice. You have so many frames, you know. But then more petty analog camera, you only have 36, maybe that's the most, 36 shots to take and make that perfect picture you want. You know, yeah.
Working with the analog and the digital, when it comes to lights, is it kanjani?
Okay, umehluko ukuthi i-digital yona isebenzisa i-mirror, you know, to bounce the light off from inside to a pentaprism where you can see the image and then it captures the light. But digital camera it uses a binary system where it tries to guess which numbers are aligned to the light, you know. And then with analog it capture a light specifically tilanga kuphela. So in that negative, the light passes through and then it's captured, it stays there. You know, there's no mechanical like techniques behind it or machinery that makes the light visible.
Mna nawe ke asithathele phezulu into yokuba siyakwazi ukukhawuleza sifote and share the photographs. Mandulo ke kwakungalulanga kangaka. Xa ke ufote nge-analog SLR camera, ukukhanya kungena kwi-lens igqithe ishutter evulekileyo ihambe iyobetha a piece of plastic egqunywe nge-layers of light-sensitive emulsion. Ukuze ke wena ukwazi ukubona le photo, kufuneka ubeke that piece of film through a few chemical reactions. First, the film is put in a developing agent that turns the silver coins into silver metal. Now, with the right temperature, ixesha and amount of agitation, the silver that has been exposed becomes pure silver and the unexposed film becomes silver halide crystals. And then kokuba ke ivasiwe emanzini, the film is put into a fixing bath where the silver halide crystals are dissolved, leaving the silver metal behind. And then kokuba uphinda wayivasa ke ngamanzi, to remove the chemicals, the film is dried and you have a negative image of your photograph.
Yo, that does not look easy at all. I mean, all those chemicals, silver halide crystals.
I mean, I doubt ungabe sipost ithombe engakazethu on social media sites if you still had to follow all those steps.
Besingasoze ke lokwaye ke khumbula that they could not even see the photo that they have taken until the film layer has been developed. So just imagine,
now, in appreciation of how digital technology has made things easy for us, why lapha ekhaya ke ungathathi isithombe usiposte ku Facebook, usiposte ku Twitter, sibona ukuthi lapha ekhaya unjani?
Ku Facebook singu TOMz, ku Twitter singu @TOMz_SABC_1 siyanazi ke nge-hashtags. Uthi #TOMz selfie.
While usabhize ngalokho asiye ku quick commercial break kodwa ke uhlala kanjalo ngoba bese sibuya ku sazoba mnandi.
Xa sibuyile ke siya emandulo ukuyokufunda ukuba iJune 16 yafika kanjani. Get some useful apps for all you guys apho emakhaya. Get some life-changing career advice in our career segment. Kwaye ke sithetha nawe kaloku umajelo ethu omnatha. Uhlala uhleli siyabuya ngoku.
TOMz.
Sibile samkele ke Mzansi sisapressa sisaphusha sisaphanda umzabalazo apha ku TOMz on SABC Mzansi for sure.
Now bafethu sesiyibhekile i-past, sayibheka i-present, and we've also looked at the future too.
Now insuku zakudala betinani zazimbi kakhulu. Well, the present esiphila kuzo ngoku, they're not too bad, but the future, it's too bright. Ndiyathemba kuba nina ready because there's like a zimiphakela apha TOMz.
Now Nina bafethu wenyazi ukuthi Youth Day is all about commemorating the march that took place about 40 years ago.
In 1976 to be exact, kwizitrato zaseSoweto.
When young people decided ukuthi azokuthini sesizwileke bafethu, and decide futhi ukuthi they're going to take a stand, a very peaceful stand.
Yonke ke yaqala xa urhulumente welaxesha wabeka umthetho owawunyanzela bonke abafundi abekho mhlophe bafundiswe ngeAfrikaans njengenxalenye yebantu education. About 3,000 to 10,000 students mobilized for a peaceful march to the Orlando Stadium in the protest of this law. Into ke yenyanzelekisa ukuqhankqalaza yayiliqumrhu elabunjwa ngomhla we-13 eyaziwa njenge-Students Representative Council eyayiqhutywa nguTeboho Tsietsi Mashinini. Umashinini ke led students from Morris Isaacson High School and other schools around Soweto kulo mqhankqalazo. Endleleni yakhona ke they were met by heavily armed police who fired tear gas and live ammunition at the marching students, resulting in many young and innocent teens being brutally killed and injured.
Wena ke njengombukeli we-TOMz ungayinxalenye yolutsha namhlanje kodwa in you lies the ability and the possibility ukuba ube inkokheli yangomso.
And as inkokheli ke if ufuna ukuphunda amaphutha akudala, you have to know what they are.
But for now, let's check out our cyberspace segment. Wena khethi khama nqakule.
Mzansi has a vast history that is inaccessible to some. Well, that's until the South African History Online website was developed to bring our history to more people. It is currently the largest independent history education and research institute konala Mzansi. Walking a mile in Madiba's shoes is probably pretty close to impossible. Godda walking a few miles of his journey is now possible thanks to the Madiba's Journey app that features 27 tourist attractions that relate to the journey Utata took to get us where we are namhlanje.
Ndiyathemba ke uba konke thina kubona apha emqubeni namhlanje ibubungqina uba imvelaphi bethu nani ibalulekile.
Futhi ke umsebenzi of historians to make sure we have this information and make sure ukuthi accurate.
Ngoba kaloku akho umuntu ufuna uhamba ikholwa into engeyonyani.
So all you future historians who want to document the past for the people of the present, this right here is for you.
So you want to become a historian? Simply put, a historian researches, analyzes, interprets, and presents the past by studying various historical documents and sources. In varsity, you would need to do a Bachelor of Arts. Now, there's quite a long list of disciplines to choose from, but what's important is that history is one of them. You need an APS of 32, at least 40% for your home language, at least 30% for maths. Now, once you have your BA degree, you can work towards your BA honors in history.
Yo, Minage, I can't even find the words to properly describe how inspired I am by them.
I'd love for us to get some last words of wisdom.
So when I get and take it all in. I mean, you never know when it will come in handy. There you go.
Okay, Mangabufundi photography can come to institutions such as the Market Photo Workshop, where it offers a foundation course, an intermediate course, and an advanced course, which differ in terms of their duration. Then you can specialize as a photojournalist, or you can specialize as an artist-based photographer who's exhibiting work and publishing books.
Being Facebook and Twitter and who knows
so if you post a little lapha kwi wall yethu noma usinboxile kwi Facebook as TOMz or usimenshine kwi DM noma I tweet, and of course which is TOMz_SABC_1 kwazi bani singahle nje siphendule wena namhlanje.
Hi, when I see does since we get to this point already.
The most heartbreaking part of any TOMz episode where we have to part ways.
Though I don't want to say I have no choice but.
From all of us here in TOMz, it is goodbye.
Ungalibali kaloku wena ukubukela uTOMz qho ngeMivulwana ngoLwezibini ngensimbi yesine ngqo enhloko only here on SABC1 Mzansi for sure.